Welcome to Always with Awareness. My name is Douglas Lodmell.
And I'm Awa Lodmell.
And today we're going to talk about something that you brought up this morning, actually, because you woke up thinking about it.
That's right.
Which is greetings.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell me what it is that you were thinking about. What caused you to have this thought?
You know, I don't know what caused it, but definitely I was in this space where I'm getting just the power of greetings.
Yeah.
Because I think it got triggered by the question of the last show of my daughter asking
Right.
fear and fear of commitment.
Fear of commitment and marriage.
Fear of commitment. And I guess that lead my mind is to thinking, what is making us humans feel like we are in a friendly environment? Mm-hmm. And I think we were made to be part of a herd, right? Mm. This is so funny that we come here with siblings, a mom, a dad, your uncle, your aunt. Like you have your people, right? And it's later on in life that you create your own or you're away from it and going into this bigger world.
Right.
And I know it's in my culture very big to greet.
Yeah.
Right? You can sleep in the same house every morning. We greet each other.
Yeah, which is definitely not culturally America. It's not how I grew up. Where
Exactly.
You wake up in the same house. It's you don't really greet each other. We just kind of hey, there's not a good morning. How
Yes.
did you sleep? I mean sometimes there is, of course, but
Yeah.
often there's not. You can just
Exactly.
wake up and go on with your day, and even with your own family, just kind of forget that they're needing a greeting or that it would be nice.
Mm-hmm. And it's so, and when my thoughts were going, I see how even the animals in our lives are teaching us how important it is to greet. Yeah. My dog every morning come, but in a greeting energy, just like a good morning, And then we have a dog and a cat, and they do fight. But in the morning, they greet each other before they start. I pay attention to that, and I said, it's so important. And then why? And I ask myself why. And the why is, we all come with the nervous system. That is the system that makes you know that you should be on your guards, fight and flight mode, a stranger is in.
Right.
Or you're in the friendly world.
Well, I mean, if you look at our evolutionary history as humans, we grew up, or we were in a state where there were friend and foe.
That's
right?
right.
There was dangers, and that's why our attention is also so tuned to negative energy.
That's right.
That's why the news is so focused on the negative, is it keeps our attention. Mm-hmm. So if you pass by a bush of berries and you miss it because you weren't paying attention, you're not going to die. Mm-hmm. You'll pay attention next time, and when you get really hungry, you'll be paying attention. Mm-hmm. But if you miss a tiger, you're dead, right?
That's
if you miss a snake, you might be dead. So we're very tuned for threat.
That's right.
Very tuned.
That's right.
Our nervous system is finely tuned for threat.
Yes.
And so now that we're in this society where we live together, mm-hmm. we still are tuned for threat.
Yes.
And so when we see somebody, and probably the best example, and we've experienced it a lot just recently, is the elevator.
Yes.
Because you're coming into this closed environment.
I know, right?
With people that you don't know. And so we were just in Las Vegas and staying at a nice hotel and get into the elevator. And you can see when people walk in with smiles on their face, how's it going? You winning money? Like there's the threat goes down.
Yes.
But if somebody walks in who's got a face on hard, maybe they look scary to you.
Yes.
Maybe it's a big giant black guy, and you're like, and he looks like he's dangerous, right?
With dreadlocks and big chains. Just let's go for it, right?
Right. Well, and I say that because that's exactly what happened, right? We get in the elevator, and there's this guy, and he's got the hardest face. I mean, and he was really dark.
Yeah.
And just his energy was just like, do not mess with me.
Yeah, do not mess with me.
And I'm just like, wow, what an energy.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly there's no real threat in the
No.
elevator at the hotel.
No.
However, the energy is always there, right?
Exactly.
And so you said, where are you from?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he turns his face, he puts on the most beautiful smile and he says, Canada. And I said, where? And he said, Montreal.
Yes.
And then you started speaking French to him. And next thing you know, they like disempowered the whole thing.
Exactly.
And so, but we all experience it.
Yes.
Right? And I hope I don't get in trouble for saying black guy.
No, you won't.
I feel like anytime you start talking about race and
it's
threat
just what
and
it
fear,
is. You know, what are you going to say? I mean,
Right.
it's just what we train to say. That's what we train to
well,
see, and that's
this
what it is.
I'm
Doesn't
saying.
have any judgment.
Like, we want to have an open conversation about
Exactly.
this because I think we can, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
And that's another show talking about how.
And you know what? I have to say, you saying it, people might jump on you.
Yeah.
I'm saying, if I am in the elevator with somebody whose face is very rough and black guy and thick and checked down and teeth in gold, I'm telling you, even myself, woman in black, I'll be like, okay. Why? Because that's what they show us. Like the last time I saw somebody similar to that is maybe on TV.
On cops, getting, or
okay.
just
The
this is
same
this
thing,
culture that we're in.
It's exactly, and the same thing with the white man that looks like certain way, shorts and looking gang and looking a beer thing and or looking like same. So let's be clear here. We do all have that. There's not a doubt about it. Okay, so. We cannot have this conversation unless we just see what we see and name it for what it looks like for us, right? But the whole idea of having this show is to go beyond that. Mm-hmm. Because what happened in that elevator is with a lot of practice and training, I could talk to him and we're going to get somewhere where it's not about how we look.
Well, and again, we're all in when we're in a new environment. We're all putting on. I see it in the business context, right? Yes. You're in a certain circumstance with business. Mm-hmm. You put I go to a convention with other lawyers. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! Everybody puts on their lawyer suit, not necessarily their physical suit, but their mask of who I am, and I'm a lawyer, and I'm serious, and we're presenting that because that's what we feel we need to do to make a certain impression.
Yes.
So everybody's doing it all the time.
All the time.
And so when we do that and we learn that, hey, you know what, it's easier for me to have a mask of just don't talk to me, especially if you're used to being judged, you're used to being seen as somebody that, is scary because of the culture that you're in that's not your culture.
Yeah, and their judgment.
And there's judgment. So you might just say, well, I'm just going to put on the mask just to not have to deal with everybody.
Yeah.
But then it falls off so quickly when the threat is demystified by communication, by greeting.
That takes me to this story that I have with this Chinese man who owns a supermarket in Florida.
Yeah.
So I came in looking for Thai basil, and he's behind the counter having lunch, and he's the only one in the store. So I went and looked around, and I couldn't find the Thai basil, and I come in and say, "Hi, how are you? Good morning." And he looked at me with the energy of, don't talk to me. And I'm like,
you're in the wrong store.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. And he just speaks his language. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
You're going to get in trouble for that, too.
I'm going to get in trouble with that. That's what it sounded like. Okay. But anyway, of course, what happened? I went to my nervous system, and I checked it, and it's going like fire. Stranger, run. Kill or go.
Right.
So, and that was in the beginning of my own journey. And I took the time and I'm like, okay, all right, you know what? I'm going to pass through this. So I went back the next day and I did the same thing.
On purpose.
On purpose.
Like you went back specifically to address that.
On purpose. Because I wanted to know what I can handle.
Yeah.
Really. It was about me. I really made it about me. I went back and he looked at me again and it's almost like, you're not going to stop coming in here? I am not serving you. And he did the same thing, the shing, shong, shong, shong again. I laugh at him. I smile. I left. I sit in my car, and I'm dying of laughing because I'm like feeling how my body want to answer, fight, and I'm like, wow, aware of my own system. When I came back the third time, his son was in the cash register. When I came in, he had put the Thai basil away from me.
The old man.
The old man. So when I came in, the old man could speak English, by the way.
Yeah.
When I came in, he looked at me and said, oh, Thai basil, and called the lady who went to get it for me. But what was surprising is the son. His son looked at me, looked at the father, and say, do you know my father? I say, yes, your father and I, we're friends. Why? Because he never heard his dad speak to a stranger.
Yeah.
And definitely not in English.
Right.
So for him, it was like, whoa, Dad, you speak English and to a client? But just to share with you what had happened is two strangers had worked on themselves.
Yeah.
Through a greeting. And again and again. And that will always be a story that touched and moved and inspired me to greet people the right way, to be present when I'm greeting, very present when I'm greeting.
Yeah.
You know, I have so many stories like that. I mean, the other one was this old lady in our building that nobody talked to. I mean, her face was just like, oh my God, don't talk to me. And I came into the elevator and I'm like, hey, hi, how are you? Nothing, no answer. Mm-hmm. And I say, are we having a beautiful day? And she turned around and looked at me and said, you're not going to stop talking to me, are you? I laugh, you know. But fast forward, this lady didn't even know who I was. One day, I happened to just be facing, we moved from the 7th floor to the 10th floor. So now we facing each other.
Our door is literally across the hall, directly from her door.
Exactly. And she saw me and she's like, oh my God, you look like a girl that I met in the elevator. And she's like this, and she's like, I looked at her and I'm like, that's me. She's like, oh my God. You know, so to just tell you, not only something moved when I did that, but she moved too. We became friends. And for the first time ever, after living in that building, I think we were the first people that she ever invited in her house. And she's so beautiful and was so helpful. But anyway, just to tell you, for me, how important it is. And like I said, even the animals are teaching us every day. But this new generation, and I'm addressing myself to this millennium that don't greed. But when they do that, what they're teaching themselves is to be in a fight and flight mode around people.
Right, to not disempower, to defuse the bomb.
Exactly.
Instead, the bomb is still there, right?
Exactly.
And so they don't get up, they don't greet, they don't really know, they don't make a connection. And so they stay in that kind of high nervous system threat level, which is frankly, I think that unfortunately, most of us are living in that kind of all the time. That's why you have so much anxiety and burnout and stress and physical problems and mental problems, because we have not created this place where you can just put your guard down. Yeah. Now, where we do it is usually in safe places that we know, and usually with an assist, like alcohol. So we will lower our barrier by drinking and be in a place. That's why people like to drink in places they know. They go to the same bar. They go to they drink at home. They have just their friends because they want to feel that comfort.
Yes.
And so they're looking for it.
That's right.
And we evolutionarily grew up with that.
Yes.
We developed with that. We had a tribe. We had our people that we can lower our threat level when we get into our camp.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we do that. I mean, it's like when we go to seminars where there is a guru attending it. Guru, I'm just saying guru, but and everybody in there is so nice. Like you have the same focus. You feel like you're a big family. Right. Everybody's like namaste. You feel comfortable.
Right.
Why? Because just in the way they greet you, you feel like you belong.
Right, and that's why people go to those things. That's why they create.
Absolutely.
That's why they look for a sangha, right? A group of people that they can be with in the same space.
That's right.
But what is very interesting is that we can create that space everywhere we go.
Absolutely.
And I know this to be true because I see you do it all the time. We walk into a room and you just go around disempowering everybody. Next thing you know, the whole room is feeling like family.
Yes.
They all want to come for dinner. We're all doing something with you could take 25 people in a room and turn it into this intimate setting by just being open
and open
engaging
to greeting. Absolutely.
And disempowering their fear. Yeah. And I think it's like a superpower.
It is a superpower to know how to greet and to do it and to practice doing it. It was a practice for me to greet somebody who was not going to greet me, who has their wall up. It was a practice of like, okay, can you greet to this point? I know many of us would have already judged, cursed maybe, and leave. But I made it I knew it was about me. Can I stay in the heat of greeting?
Right.
And it's powerful. It has moved my life more than anything, to smile, to say hi in the elevator, to create a space where they can say hi back.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can say hi and don't have an answer because they still like in their mode. And then the next question, just you see how everything drops. Right. And next time you meet again, they just go to, and it's important for me because I want to choose to live in the friendly world.
Right.
It's my choice. It's not because the world is friendly. I choose to make the world a friendly world.
Your world is friendly.
Absolutely.
Yes.
My world is friendly.
Yeah.
People tell me all the time, do you experience racism? I wouldn't know if I do. It's my answer to that. I would not know because I'm not looking for it. I am not present to it. So it's not happening in my world.
To you, it may be happening in the way another person might experience it in the exact same circumstance, but you don't because you're not seeing it. You're seeing, and when you overtly see somebody who's just like the Chinese guy, you realize it's not personal to you. It has everything to do with them, nothing to do with you.
Nothing. Those are words that, they don't mean anything. I'm not going to make this word mean more to the other one. Right. It's just how I interpret it is very important. I remember one day one of our best friends, we arrived and we didn't know each other at all. And maybe it was his way of connecting. And I came in and he said, black people are not allowed, or something like that.
Oh, we met at the club.
Yeah, we met.
And he goes, black people are not allowed in this club. We knew him a little bit, but we had never really gone to dinner.
Exactly, and that was his way of greeting. And it's just so funny. And I said, and so are not my Jewish brother. And that was it.
That was it. Yeah, forever you guys were best friends.
Oh, to this day. But it's just to tell you, this show really, I want to make it about lowering the fear, leaving that fight and flight mode, and these judgments and attachment to what things mean, and doesn't. There is a way of touching, moving, and inspiring people to a better way of behaving or a better choice of wording by you standing for something higher. It only can happen if we grow out of it.
Yeah.
And I personally have grown out of it.
Well, and again, the way that we talk in our family,
yes,
we don't have these triggers around these trigger words.
Yeah.
So when we talk about black people and white people, and we joke, I mean, we are an interracial mixed family.
Exactly.
And so it's I mean, most of the family we're around are your family, Africans.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother cultural aspect to it. But we want to bring that to this conversation because I see we have this sensitivity in America. Like me as a white guy saying anything, even saying black guy in the elevator is like, oh, you just showed how racist you are. Yeah, I showed how American I am and how I grew up in this culture and I understand it very well. Right? I understand, but I'm aware of it and I'm not identifying with it. Mm-hmm. I just see the triggers in my nervous system. I see what can happen.
Yeah.
And we met this couple the other day. We had a surprise birthday party for a friend. So we got invited and it was just 3 couples.
That's right.
And the other couple is this other mixed couple. So it's a black guy and a white girl. And he's from Alabama.
Yes.
And I grew up, or at least I spent 3 years of high school in Alabama.
Yes.
And I said, Alabama, and we started talking, and oh my God, could we connect over the systemized racism?
Yes.
And I said, by 3rd grade, every black kid in the school is segregated out into special education. I went to a high school where 20% of the students were black.
Yes.
I never had a single black kid in my class.
Wow.
Never had a single black kid in my class. How does 20% of the school black and you never see them?
Yeah.
Not only that, it was never a topic of conversation. No one even noticed.
Yes.
It took me leaving that and thinking back on it one day going, what was that about? But there was a hallway called special education and that's where they had so segregation, and he laughed and he goes, you have to be there to see this.
That's right.
And they said the racism is like a fine wine. They've dialed it in so fine-tuned that I can tell you, white people don't even recognize the systematic racism that is built into this country. They don't even recognize. So they're walking around going, I don't know what they're talking about. And every black person is like, what the hell?
What the hell? How come
right?
you
How
see
can
it?
you not see this? And I'm talking about people who grew up in it, who participated in it, who were part of it.
That's right.
That's how. So I didn't think we were going there this show, but somehow we did.
Yes.
Because it's related to this greeting.
It starts there.
It's related to this way in which we initially touch each other, right?
Yeah.
That we initially connect with each other.
How our nervous system is a nervous system.
It's a nervous system
who
thing.
is definitely always in the fight and flight mode.
Always.
And that is for all of us. Doesn't matter what your color skin. Black people feel that way. White people feel that way.
People feel that way.
People
it's a people
feel that
thing.
way. And to lower that, where you can be in this friendly world within yourself, where you go back again, we are herd animals. We have to belong. If we don't belong, our nervous system see that as a threat.
Right.
Like, who are your people?
Mm-hmm.
And most people in America left their roots to be here. So already you are born out of a system that is a high flight or fight mode.
Yeah, we are.
Because that's what made us.
That's what made
right?
this country.
We were exactly.
I mean, if you look at how the world was settled here, it was just.
That's how you can have kids here and make sure they don't even speak their language. You're not going to speak Chinese. You're not going to speak Spanish.
You're not going to speak Italian.
Because it's like you have to forget who you are, and your nervous system needs to know who are your people. Where are you? And who are your people should be everybody. Definitely. In this era now where we don't live in the village, you have to still make your nervous system feel like it is in the village.
Yeah, it's literally I don't want to say tricking your nervous system. I want to say training your nervous system.
Exactly.
Training your nervous system that you're in a friendly world.
Yes.
Which means that you have to constantly break down when you notice your nervous system is triggered. That's the moment to address it directly and break it down.
Break it down.
Like disempower it,
Yes.
disarm that bomb.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you carry it, and then the next time you are in a similar circumstance, you actually heighten it, because if you didn't address it, it builds.
Yes.
What you don't address gets stronger.
Absolutely.
So if you're afraid of horses, and the first time you see one, you don't break that, next time you see one, it's even higher.
Exactly.
That's why they say when you fall off a horse, you got to get right back on
it.
Yeah, you can't.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, the fear builds and gets.
Yeah.
And we have trained our nervous system. Every single one of us, every human has trained their nervous system to be in a certain kind of resting state.
Yeah.
Right. And theoretically, our resting state should be very much unthreatened. I don't think most people's is.
No.
I think most people's resting nervous system state is on at least
Anxiety.
mild alert, if not moderate to high alert.
That's right.
Like all the time, because one, what else can trigger it nowadays? The phone ringing with the wrong person. My mother, my father, my wife, my husband, a bill collector, my work, whatever it is. This phone now, we're carrying around this trigger.
I know.
All the time. And
Because
so,
now everybody has access to you at any given time. Because before you could just say, okay, lunchtime, we don't call people. We had rules
you had to be
about this
home,
thing.
First of all,
exactly.
Remember, we didn't have phones. Do you all remember that?
I know.
We did not have phones growing up.
Yeah.
When I was out of the house, no one could reach me.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
I mean, no one.
Exactly.
I was out, and I was a little kid running around in Canto Park in Arizona by myself with my buddy.
Yeah.
And nobody could. There was
Reach
no like, where are you? Check in every hour.
I know.
None of that.
It's amazing,
Right?
huh?
And now
to think about it.
we now our kids are constantly like, they feel that, right? And so, yes, that came with some benefits, but it came with also some drawbacks.
That's right.
And that nervous system heightened all the time is a drawback. Nobody wants to live like that.
To the point where you are nervous where it's not even required to be.
Right. No, all the time.
Right?
You're home relaxing, watching
All the
TV.
time.
You're nervous.
You come into the elevator from your day and there's this nice family in front of you, but you don't care to even say hi.
Right.
Why? Why wouldn't you?
Well, again, I think this is why, God, we're spawning several different topics here. I think this is why alcohol is so prevalent, is because it literally does exactly that. It calms the nervous system. It deadens the nervous system and allows you to kind of, like you see it. People are running to their glass of wine. Running to it at the end of the day. Just to feel that,
Well, can you imagine if your day was that with everybody?
all the time.
All the time. How joyful. How joyful you will be.
Yeah.
I mean, really. My days are so joyful because I choose to. And I think I would just share it and give it as a gift. And the tool that I use is greeting. I think it's very powerful. Is to be intentional with your greeting. When you are in the presence of somebody, acknowledge, consider that you have a brother, a sister, a mother. I mean, just if you think about it, in that moment in that elevator, if it happens to stop, they're everything for you and you're everything for them. And this is something that I woke up this morning to, being so in touch with it and seeing how even the animals are showing us every day. Even animals that are not supposed to be friendly together, they start every morning by greeting. So please, take that and run with it. Start greeting each other in the morning. Greeting your kids. Have your kids greet you. So that when they wake up in somebody else's house, they can greet whoever the host is. Because I can tell you, I have a lot of kids coming. But every morning I look at them and they come and they make their cereal and they sit in front of me and it looks like we shared the same bed the day before. And I said, did we share the same room? And they go like, huh? But, it's just, it starts the day so beautifully, like we're not strangers to each other. And it lowers their fears, and we end up laughing. And I think it's a beautiful tool, and that's what I really, really, really wanted to share with you today. I hope you just enjoy it and take it, and practice it.
Yeah. I can tell you I was raised without the greetings, and was the kind that would walk in a room and not have the education to even introduce myself.
So are most of your friends.
And most of my friends. And because it's cultural. Again, we grew up in this, but I have changed completely around that. I am very much, I walk in. In fact, the other day we were down at the little clubhouse of the ranch here.
Yeah.
And somebody walked in. And I just happened to be by the door.
Yes.
And she walked in, and I just said, "Oh, hi." And I put up my hand, and I told her my name. This is like a public place. So she was just kind of like,
yeah.
And she goes, "Oh," and she introduced herself, then she introduced her husband, and we had a brief little interaction.
Yeah.
And then I went back to sit next to you. She came over, sought us out, and came to you and said, "Your husband greeted me."
I know. It was a big deal.
Like, she was shocked, like, he was like, Who are you people?
Yeah. Well, so imagine. So what it meant was, by you greeting her, now her nervous system was lowered enough where it's not like, oh, where am I? These are all strangers, to, oh, now I can find my pack. I can relax, right? And that's what it meant, And I remember when we first get married, we would go to people's home for a dinner time together, and my husband would be the kind that would leave, and the friend will walk with them to the street, and I'm looking at my husband and I'm like, how about the wife?
Yeah.
The one that cooked the meal.
Right.
You remember that? Mm-hmm. And he would look at me and I said, no, we can't go yet. You have to go back in. He's like, no, why?
No, I said bye to my friend.
I said bye to my friend.
The husband, that's the only friend that I saw, right? Because you again, you're expanding your world to see everybody as part of your pack. That was the greeting.
I know.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
So I'm going to mention Dan Sullivan at Strategic Coach. He was a coach of mine for a couple of years, and it's an excellent program. He's an amazing person. And he said, if you don't plan for it, you're going to run out of money, health, and friends. Because you're going to say, oh, I'm going to die by the time I'm 80 or 85. And then, you don't plan past that with money, health, or friends. He said, raise your number, by the way. Raise it to 100, 150.
Yes.
Right? They get it up there. So even if you don't make it, you don't run out of money, health, or friends.
Yes.
So Dan Sullivan, I'm crediting you with this because this is so impactful to me. But the friends part is the point that is, of those three, the friends is the most important.
That's right.
Even before money and health. Because if you have friends, those other things are ultimately unimportant. I mean, your health is important, but at some point you're dead anyway. So, your health becomes irrelevant. But the friends, if you lose your friends, you don't really even care anymore.
Yeah, you don't.
If you don't have a pack, if you don't have, and you watch older people who lose their pack, they die around them.
Yeah.
They don't often last long if they don't have strong family.
That's right.
Because their pack died. They're just like, okay, I guess it's time to go. I don't have any more friends.
Yeah.
So make more friends. How do you make more friends? Greet more people.
That's so
Be
true.
open to more people. I can't even tell you how rich we are in friends. Wealthy beyond any measure that I had ever imagined. We have so many people that we consider friends and family that would stop and do anything for us.
That's right.
Just because we connect. We are always in
That's
that
right.
mode.
That's right.
And so I can't tell you I can't encourage you strongly enough to make it a priority. And it starts with greetings. It starts with opening yourself, opening your face,
Yes.
opening your voice to the world, just being friendlier, and see what happens.
Yeah.
See what happens if you greet everybody.
Oh, my
See what
God.
happens if you say hello on the street to
You'll be
everybody.
enlightened. Just that simple thing of, okay, I'm going to commit myself to really greet, to really open my energy when I see people, to smile, to say good morning, to compliment when I see something I like about somebody, to say hi to a kid. It's your whole day. I can tell you by the end of the day, the joy that human being can bring to your life. I think that's why all these saints that go up to the mountain, at the end they get enlightened. But where do they go back? To the people, to practice what they get. Because what the people can give you, what the people can bring, the energy of and the joy. That's why maybe we're all wanting followers.
Yeah.
But your real followers are the ones that are with you, living with you, on the street. They're everywhere. They're really everywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I will tell you a saying in Wolof, where my family's from. Nit nit moi garabam.
Oh my
which
God.
means the remedy for a human is another human.
That's right.
And I can tell you that is true. If you feel bad, get up and find your people. Get up and talk. Get up and go. Have somebody come over. I can tell you how many times energy is low, energy is down, headache. Somebody walks in the door, you get up, all of a sudden it's gone, disappears.
Yeah.
Because your energy comes and flows, and illness and headaches and pains and all that, it's just blocked energy is all it is anyway. So when
That's
people
right.
are there, you flow it, you get up and you connect.
That's
and
right.
if you train yourself to not do it, you suffer.
That's right.
If you train yourself to do it, you have more life to give and to live. So.
Thank you. I'm so proud of you saying nit nit moi garabam.
Hey, I speak Wolof.
All right. Well, I guess that was it.
That
Just
was
to wrap
it.
up.
So thank you for joining us. As always, greet us on a comment.
That's
So
right.
please practice. You can practice with us. We're happy to practice with you. And like and subscribe and share this. Share this with people, because again, the whole point is that it works better when we do it. And something that's shared, it grows within you. So that's what it means to give. It's to share ideas. It's to share love. It's to share the things that make us all better. So hopefully
That's right.
this made us all better today.
I'm sure it sure did for us.
Yeah, made us all better.
Yeah. So, take it. Like I said again, whatever thought that are going into your mind that is making you feeling like you are in a world that is not friendly, that mind cannot give you the joy that you want. You will literally have to change something within you. You have to start somewhere. Well, today we're inviting you to start by greeting everybody, the ones you're afraid of, the ones you're judging. See yourself, just feel it where it is, and go for it, and see what happened behind that fear, behind that judgment.
Yeah.
Right?
That's absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you again.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.